Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast. Joining me this week is the one and only Lucas to discuss the week that was. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some Modern Warfare, a new game just for you listening along at home. Dreams once again pushing the boundaries. Tom Nook has Lucas hooked. PS Plus, games with gold, and much, much more. Now, from at least 1.5 metres away, editing Lucas, let's go!
This is the Aussie Gamers Experience video game podcast. This show is recorded during temperatures in summer that are too hot for dragons and in winter colder than my mother-in-law's heart. So join us as we discuss video games as best we can, all while dodging redback spiders, brown snakes, and all those other things that try to hurt, maim, or even kill us. But remember, all we need to do is stay alive long enough to see the release of that next awesome video game. Enjoy the show.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 293 this week. Today is Monday, the 30th of March, 2020. Lucas, welcome, mate. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you very much. Yeah, I think we're doing quite well with the whole 1.5 metres thing, because I reckon we're probably about 10 k's away.
10 k's away? Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's about the distance that I like to keep from my friends.
Yeah, only chat occasionally. That's about it.
No, seriously, talking about keeping distance from friends, I need to get a T-shirt for Nick that says, "Coronavirus or not, keep a 1.5 metre distance away from me for your safety." Speaking of which, he's not here. Where is he? I'm disappointed with his tardiness.
Oh, tisk, for shame. Well, before we get into who's here with us, Grejio is not joining us this week because he is an essential worker and he's working out what he needs to do. So good on you, mate.
I think with his childcare and all that sort of stuff, looking after his kids, he's had to start work later, and I think he's working back later. Is that what I understand? I think that's about right.
I honestly don't know.
Well, from what he told me, I think that's what it is. So he's starting later to look after the kids when he can, and then finishing later. So he's not going to be here in time.
Well, that sounds good. Good on him. So, yes, well, joining us here live is, of course, Sin Spacies, Azrael, Kazakol, Radicus, and Skrill. Thank you, everyone. Hope you're having fun. Hope you're keeping safe in all this lunacy that's going on. So let's jump into the first week, shall we, mate?
Let's do it.
This week in gaming. This week in gaming, we're going all the way back to 1996 for the release of Resident Evil. The very original one, of course, published by Capcom Entertainment and developed by Capcom Co.
This is one
you and I actually played.
I did, yeah. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
That's right. Shoddy controls, shoddy voice acting. Yeah, it was sort of like the epitome of corny, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, it was horrible, but I had to have it because it was just the hottest new thing, being and back then those graphics were sensational. And the tank controls, while they were horrible, it was probably something I didn't really think too much about back then, because I didn't really know any better. But looking back on it, that is the most horrible game ever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the loading screens through every door.
Yes.
Oh, and when you would walk into the wrong door and you're like, no, that's the wrong one. And then you'd have
I don't want to go in here.
Back through that door and wait for the loading again. Oh, we are so... This is going to be us talking about this generation after next generation when they've got these fancy SSDs that probably will have no load times. But
it'll just blink and you're loaded.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, a couple of little bits of trivia for you, mate. The Japanese version actually had a colour intro, but the westernised version was black and white, and apparently was heavily censored.
It was probably because of the blood. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the cutscenes and whatnot were also censored for the PlayStation release. So the other thing is, it was originally going to go across to the Game Boy Color as well. Could you have imagined that on the Game Boy Color?
No, it would have been a remake. It couldn't have been a port. No. There is no way it would have played on it.
It was a cancelled port. Significant work on a port to Game Boy Color was completed before Capcom pulled the plug, citing quality concerns.
Yeah, it would have been shit. I mean, it was just barely good on the PlayStation.
Yeah, so it was a fairly direct adaptation of the original with characters moving about in 3D pre-rendered backdrops. So it would have been like a change to side scroller or something. Still pretty cool. Bit of info for you.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the main part of the show, the games we've been playing this week. Mate, I'm going to get a game out of the way first up. Something I was looking forward to playing. Something I tried to play over many, many, many times over the weekend. Predator. Predator Hunting Grounds.
Did you actually get a game?
Nope.
The title screen looked good, didn't it?
The title screen was sexy.
Okay.
But I've had enough of that music.
I didn't get old enough for me then when I was playing it. But look, I'll save you the trouble because I had a couple of goes of that. Eventually at about, I would have been about 2 a.m., I got a game with Nick, the Wraith, and Azrael.
Yeah.
And, look, the short version it's absolute rubbish. And I'll give you a little bit more of a longer version. But, the game has a lot of problems. Now, number one problem is the connectivity. Yeah, okay, look, I understand it's a beta, but a beta is supposed to be a test of making sure that it can work in a commercial environment.
I have a theory about these connectivity issues.
Okay.
They just turned around and went, you know what, Australia, screw you. Because so many people that I've seen on YouTube and whatnot have got all this raving reviews about it and, video footage and this is what we played on the weekend, blah, 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 blah. And they've all, and people have come out in defense of it, your connection's just shit because you couldn't get a game. So hold on a second, mate. I was trying for hours to get a game. I never got one. You didn't get a game until 2:30 in the morning our time.
Yeah.
So I'm putting it down to, just this time zone. They just went, get stuffed, you can't play.
Yeah, look, maybe. But see, that's a concern for me because if you can't even get the game to work in the slightest degree, then what hope does it have for the final release? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, it's a beta test. This is where they're testing it to make sure it works. But I think by the time you get to beta, it should be working a little bit, just at least a little bit. And this thing was, broken beyond all reason because the first few times that I tried earlier in the night was absolutely useless, didn't get into a game at all. Then I realised that the cross-play or cross-platform play wasn't actually enabled.
That was a lie, yeah.
There was a setting.
Sorry, it was a misunderstanding.
Yeah, there's a setting in there to turn it on, but you can't actually invite people from different platforms, so it has to be on the same. And once I did get into the game, the AI was absolutely pathetic, like really bad. The human enemies were, because when you go in, you've got your team, which are human enemies, unless you're playing as the Predator, and then you've got the Predator, which is played by another real person. But then there's all these NPCs that are in there trying to take you out. They're attacking the Predator as well, but they are dumb as dog shit. They are absolutely pathetic. It was probably some of the worst AI that I've ever seen, to the point where you could stand directly in front of them and it would take them a while to realise you were there. Sometimes they would run away from you, not even realising you were there. There was a few issues, even in the tutorial, which is an offline mode there. There was a part where you kill everyone, you played as the Predator, which seemed kind of cool. But there was a part there where you've killed everyone and you have to take a trophy. Now it says take a trophy, and the dead bodies are all on the ground, as they would be when you kill them. But the marker for where you had to stand to press the button to take the trophy was actually about, say, 4 meters in the air. So I had to walk over to the body where the dead guy was that I was taking the trophy from. I had to look directly up and I had to jump to get the prompt, and it took me a few times to hit it at the right time. So jumping up into the air towards the marker, hitting the button to take the trophy, and then all of a sudden my character, like the Predator, would drop back down to the ground, and then an animation would play of him taking the trophy, like ripping the spine and skull out. So that was broken. Then the controls. the actual controls. Now, I was playing with a game like a Xbox One controller because I'm not much of a keyboard and mouse guy. For starters, it would only bring up PlayStation 4 control prompts. So if it came up with press X on the screen, I actually had to press A because X is in the A position on the other controller. So it only brought up it only brought up PlayStation prompts. So it would come up with triangle. You'd have to press Y, things like that, which is a bit of an oversight. I would have thought that with the game so close to release that they would have support for Xbox One controllers as well as PlayStation 4 controllers for the PC version. I should mention I was playing on PC. But then there was like an input lag with the controller. So it was really hard to get the aim down right because moving the right thumbstick had an ever so slight delay, which sort of threw it all off, which wasn't very good. It didn't really feel much nicer using the keyboard and mouse either, but the character model for the Predator was pretty much the only thing that looked good in the game. The scenery, I guess, was okay as well, but the rest of it was a bit poor, really.
Bit how you going. Look, my experience was the tutorial that I played twice because it was so exciting. I liked the animation of him running through the trees.
The
that
Predator,
was cool. I mean, so the sort of parkouring through the trees, I thought was really well done. And the Predator, while he feels heavy because he's this big beast of a thing, you had that sort of feeling that you were OP, which was nice. But the 2 times that I played it, I killed the person you had to get the trophy from in 2 different areas, and both times I got the exact same animation.
Okay, like so there's only one.
So that animation was in. And both times it showed that I was in an undercover landing sort of thing. But one time they were out in the middle, on the dirt, and another time they were inside next to a car.
Are you saying that when you took the trophy, the actual animation was in the same spot?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's pathetic. That's bad.
Yeah.
I really think this is a flop. I don't think it's going to do well. I thought it was absolute rubbish. It has redeeming qualities. It's not like completely a waste, but overall, there is no way in the world I would spend money on that. Not at all. No way. And sadly, I picked it. I thought it would be rubbish.
See, I enjoyed playing Friday, because I was expecting something similar to the experience that I had with Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, it looks terrible. It is so corny, but it's fun.
But it works enough. It works enough to get fun out of it, Like, if it has the gameplay, the rest of the things generally don't matter too much. But, yeah, look, Predator just really missed the mark with too many things. Absolutely too many things. I don't know anyone from Australia that has gone, oh, yeah, no, that was good. Everybody I've spoken to is like, I can't get a game.
Yeah, I had a few people have a bite back on Twitter, just solely from, that's, like they're talking it up. It's like, man, that's fantastic. I'm glad you had fun. I couldn't get a game. I got a game every 3 minutes. Well, congratulations. I couldn't get one. In an hour of trying, I didn't get one. So, it is what it is. It's just unfortunate that I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Have you seen any footage of what happens if you kill the Predator?
No.
First of all, when you get shot enough, the blood that he leaves glows like it does in the movies, which is pretty cool.
I have seen that. But I've hit him a few times.
He will crouch down while everyone's sitting there shooting and whatnot. Open up the thing on its arm, and then and set the bomb off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool.
But he doesn't do the laugh. So there's a lot of people saying, it would be good if you could put the laugh in there. And one bit that I did find cool, I was pushing buttons, and you got him to actually do the mimic voice. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you can do that. But look, I can deal with the laugh not being in there. I'd prefer they sorted some other shit out first.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's just they're 2 factors where they stay quite close to the lore behind the Predator, but it's not enough to redeem it, unfortunately.
Nah, rubbish.
All right, mate. Well, being the Predator didn't work, we jumped back into some Call of Duty.
We did.
Played a a few rounds. Good to see that we can still hold our own in multiplayer. But Warzone is still a little tricky beast. It's a very different beast.
Yeah.
But blood money. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that, mate?
Yeah, well, plunder is now blood money. Have I mentioned that I got a win yet? Did that happen last week? No, it didn't. We came second last week, didn't we? We just missed out because I sort of thought we'd already won and we stopped.
Because we got to a mill first, yeah.
Yeah. But no, we finally got a win. So, look, I'm pretty sure I'm correct in saying that it was myself, the Wraith, and A10, I think it was. We were together and we finally got a win. Oh, no, it was Radicus. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? Yes. Yeah, he's telling me in the chat there. It was Radicus and A10, I think. Whatever. But we finally got a win in plunder / blood money. I think it was called plunder back in the old days. But it was pretty cool. Like, it was a fairly passive run. I don't actually think I opened fire at all. We literally just drove around picking up contracts, and we're getting $40,000 to $60,000 per contract, and we just smashed through it that way. And in the end, we managed to hold a victory there. We also had another game where we came bloody close, where we were winning.
Oh yes,
there was.
We were winning
was that
for
with
most
you?
of it. Yeah, that was like last night before.
It was, I think it was the night before last, where we were first, and there was literally 5 seconds left, and we were first. And then as the game ticked down the last few seconds, it went boop, second. I'm like, oh, you're joking. That was a win. And then some arsehole, because there was like 15 seconds left. I'm like, and we were fairly in front. Like I don't know exactly, it doesn't tell you exactly how far in front, but the little meter down the bottom, I'm like, we've got this. There's no sense running out, because we were in the hangar. There's no sense running out, risking getting taken out when there's 10 seconds left. And who would have thought, man, that, in that last 5 seconds, somebody must have picked up a big piece of loot or wiped out a team and took their money, and they just jumped into first place and we got a second. So that was a little bit heartbreaking, but second's not too bad for out of, 150 players.
That's not too bad. Yeah, that was a different one than what's with me. It must have been after I got off.
Oh, really? So that wasn't with you?
No. The one we had was we placed third and didn't fire a shot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've played it a few times now, so they're all sort of moulding into one. But it can be a little bit heartbreaking like that. But that match where we came second, like we had a rubbish start to the match, but we eventually came good. But I quite like plunder or blood money now. It's probably my preferred game mode. It's a little bit more like multiplayer, I guess, rather than a battle royale, because you do have respawns. But I just can't tame that beast that is the battle royale. I'm really bad at it.
Yeah.
It's just really hard, because there's a lot of things to take into consideration that so many other people might be thinking of. So, like there's other teams that are thinking, all right, I've got Ghost on, so I can't see them on my heartbeat sensor, and they might be thinking, okay, he's going to have Ghost on because I use Ghost now, but they might use something else to counteract me, and there's just so many things to try and think of. I've got to give credit to those people that win game after game. They are epic, because it's beyond me. I don't have the tactics. I don't know the tactics that are involved to keep yourself safe. Like, I watched some videos on YouTube of people playing it, and I'm like, I'd have never thought of doing that, or I would have done this differently because that's how I think, but it probably would have got me killed. I don't know. It's just people with the time, I guess, to learn the whole way the game works.
They might win 5, but how many have they played? Yeah. I've got a best I've done, I think, is a 6th in solos. Yeah,
solos is the best that I've done, which is I came 5th, but I've tried to play it since, and I haven't lasted through the first 30 seconds of the game. So there's a whole lot of luck involved. There's a whole lot of skill involved. You need both of them on your side, otherwise you're going to have a bad time. And sadly for me, it's usually a bad time. But yeah, That's where blood money comes in. I appreciate that mode a lot more. Mind you, it still frustrates me.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, well, we'll keep at it. We'll keep having a bit of fun with it, mate. All right, Lucas, we've been lucky enough to be playing a game a little bit early this week. So we've been playing the remake of Resident Evil 3. So very big shout out to the people over at Capcom and Turn Left for letting us have an early go. Mate, did you play the original Resident Evil 3 like when it was originally out?
No, I didn't. I really didn't play any of the early Resident Evil games other than the original first one I played on the PS1, but I really don't know why, but I never played Resident Evil 2 or 3 or 4 or any of them really up until Resident Evil 5. So playing Resident Evil 3, this is the first time I've played it.
Yeah, well, I'm in the same boat as you, mate. So I played the original, but then I don't think it gelled with me very much. You know, back then I was very much racing games and things like that. But what's your take on the new one so far? A bit of an early impression for you.
All right, now I've played probably about 2.5 hours of Resident Evil 3, and I actually went back, after playing it for a couple of hours, I actually went and found a YouTube playthrough of the original Resident Evil 3, just to compare it. I did the same thing with Resident Evil 2, to have a look and see what they did differently. And for those that don't know, Resident Evil 3 is not a scene-for-scene sort of remastering or anything like that. It's a complete reimagining remake. So although it does follow the exact same script, like as in what happens, the dialogue has been rewritten, still gives the exact same lines, but written differently, which is a real good breath of fresh air, because even Resident Evil 3, it was super cheesy and the acting wasn't fantastic, the voice acting. And then come forward to Resident Evil 3, the voice acting is brilliant and the game looks so damn nice. The graphics are amazing. Just comparing to normal today video games, it is up there as really high tier graphics. I'm really enjoying it. I've got a lot to say about it, but what is your initial thoughts?
Very much along the same sort of lines, mate. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love the gore. I love sneaking through areas where there's things dripping off around you. The sound in it is, the sound quality is brilliant. Like I think after I was first playing it, I jumped into a chat party with you and a few of the other guys afterwards, and I was so tense from playing it. And I'm only playing it on easy, like on easy level, or assisted, I think it's called. Yeah. But the game itself doesn't make you tense, but that sound and that constant, like I found myself having this constant feeling of being stalked, because that's pretty much what you are.
Well, Resident Evil 3, something I never really knew until the new one, because I never played it before, but it gives that real sense of, Alien Isolation, how there's like one super baddie, which is the alien, which is chasing you throughout the whole game. Well, that's what Resident Evil 3 is kind of like with, is his name Nemesis? That bad dude?
Nemesis, yeah. Yep.
And see, I didn't realise that this was that kind of game where you start off and this thing makes itself known and it's hunting down the STARS members from the original game, so Resident Evil 1. And there are scenes in it where this Nemesis will be chasing you and you can try and kill it, but really you can only just slow it down so you can get away a little bit easier. But this thing is like the Terminator and just keeps following you and attacking you, and he seems sluggish, but he's for some reason can always keep up with you. It is so scary and so tense. And there was something at first that I had as a complaint, but then after about 2 hours of playing, I realised that it's probably in its favour and is actually a good part of the game. I found that your movements when you're running, like you're running away from this thing, you feel really slow. It's like I feel like your character you're playing as Jill Valentine. I feel like she's jogging where she should be sprinting for her life. And
I kind of liken it to I'm damaged, like I'm injured, and that's why I can't run very quick, because just the way that Jill moves, you kind of feel like you do have an injury. And that kind of adds to a bit of the tension, like, oh shit, I can't get away that quick. I can only dodge certain things.
But she runs at her tops. You know, sometimes in a game you'll be playing where when you're running around all over the place and you're at a certain speed, but then when an action sequence is triggered, your running speed increases because there's something going on. Well, this game doesn't do that. The speed of your run just stays the same, and it feels slow. But then it sort of dawned on me, I thought, you know what, this is probably the whole reason why this is as tense as it is, because this thing is on my ass the whole time because I can't get away, and it's swinging at me, it's shooting at me, it's doing all this crazy stuff, and I'm only just getting away, like just. And the tension is there. But thankfully, my experience so far, those moments, they're in short bursts, so your heart doesn't explode out of your chest. When you're getting that real tense heartbeat going on, then it's over for a little bit. You get to like a safe point where the thing's away for a little while, and then it'll appear again and scare the shit out of you. But what I also noticed from watching those YouTube videos is how much they have changed the game, but by still staying faithful to it as well. And that's something that I've been impressed with Resident Evil 2 as well. So even though the areas are a little bit different, the camera angles are different, the characters look completely different, Speedway, the game is still very respectful to the original, and yeah, it plays amazing. I'm really impressed with it. I didn't really expect anything different because Resident Evil 2 was done so well, but Resident Evil 3 has pulled it off again, and the way that they've transformed those old school graphics into, you know, high fidelity beauty, it's done remarkably. It's a breath of fresh air for a new game to be released and me play it and actually have positive things to say, because I've had a bad run lately where I'll be like, oh yeah, whatever, not interested.
Yeah, whatever.
Resident Evil 3 has curved that, and I'm really happy with it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I share the same thoughts, mate. I'm absolutely loving it. So everyone that's listening, keep an eye out on the www.theagexp.com website. There'll be a review going up there very shortly. And make sure you keep listening as we play through, because I don't want to put it down yet. Yeah,
look, it is all a great, neat package. The sound effects, the graphics, the controls. Oh my god, thank God they changed from tank controls. I don't know why that was ever a thing. Probably some sort of limitations, but it is so much nicer now. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about it?
No.
All
Nemesis is a good bad guy. I like it.
Yeah, he's pretty beastly. So, I mean, I don't really know how it ends. We'll probably have a little bit more to say next week once we've finished it, give it a bit of an overall, without spoiling, but some people probably already know how it ends. Oh, actually, there was something that I did notice in playing it today, which I wasn't aware of, but it actually ties in with Resident Evil 2. Did you know that?
No, because I haven't played Resident Evil 2.
Oh, didn't you play that one?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay, well, did you play the demo for Resident Evil 2 by any chance?
No.
Oh, okay, that's good conversation there. I'll tell you a little something.
Sorry.
Even in the demo, or if you played the full game, there's a scene where there's a police officer in the Raccoon City Police Department who's been injured, but you meet him after he's been bitten, right? And then as... is it Claire? I think it's Claire you play as, Claire Redfield. Anyway, you run into this copper, he gives you a gun, you go off and do your thing, blah, blah, he turns, you end up shooting him, I think. In Resident Evil 3, you actually rock up to Raccoon City Police Department and see how that all happens. You actually see that cop, and it plays out. Because I'm playing it, I'm like, this looks familiar. I've played this in Resident Evil 2. What's going on here? And then I realised that the timeline must be set like at the same time as Resident Evil 2, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or at least that section of the game is anyway, because, yeah, you see things that occurred in the previous game, which, yeah, I don't know, maybe I can be schooled a little bit by some other people that may know the game a little bit more than I do, but I thought that was really cool as well. I'm like, oh, I know this is familiar from the previous one, which is really cool. But anyway, we'll come back to it next week when we're allowed to talk about Resident Evil 3 with our audience, because if people aren't aware, we're recording this outside of our normal audience because the embargo is still up until tomorrow morning, so we can't share this until the show actually comes out on Sunday. Yeah, we'll have more to say later, I think.
Indeed. Cool.
All right, well, let's move on to the next part of the show, which we'll do. Oh, this is all weird with the whole timeline thing, but...
We'll do the other part of the show later on after we do the first part of the show.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, on to another one for yourself, the Jackbox Party Pack. So you streamed this with a few people last night. How did it all go? I know
it went well, man.
Usually a bit of fun.
Yeah, it went well. We probably played it for about 2 hours or so, and it was really good fun. We had I think it was about 8 of us playing all night. So
nice.
we got some of our partners and our wives got involved as well, and I think we didn't know whose names were who because not everyone used their actual name in the game, and it became quite easy to see which player was the partner of one of the usuals because the language in it wasn't vulgar.
Yeah.
Okay, that answer doesn't include the C word. That's probably one of the partners. So,
Fair
we had my wife playing, we had Radicus's wife playing, we had A10's missus playing, and it was a sensational night, man. Some of the answers had me dying in stitches. Wraith, just in general, not even just him playing the game, was super funny. The amount of times Wraith would be like, oh, I didn't answer. I forgot to answer. He's too busy talking, making jokes, and being a clown that he forgets to put his answer in. I'm like, oh my god! But that game's always going to be full of laughs. It's just there's no way it can't be because it's hilarious. What I wish we did play, we didn't actually get around to it, but that Drawful one where it's like Pictionary, we should have done that. That would have been a laugh and a half. But oh dear, it was great, man. The Jackbox Party Pack is so worth the money. But yeah, actually, there was one of them where it was when your laundromat hands you a note that says duck. Just at the time, it didn't make any sense, but it was so funny. Oh dear, it was good.
Well, couldn't really put together too much of a better group of people to play it with either.
Oh, I know, but the live stream's up there. If you want to go and check it out, it's on the Aussie Gamers TV Twitch channel. I think it stays there for 7 days, so I don't know if it'll be there when you hear this, but you can scrub through it and see some of the crazy stuff that's been said.
Should highlight it, mate. Highlight it and it'll stay there for good.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. It's viewer discretion advised, though. There's a lot of expletives. Yes,
there might be a little bit of language, some naughty words said here and there.
Yeah, I think we educated the partners on that night as to what the sort of shit is that we say, because none of it was censored for our partners. It was on for young and old. You got to try it. Everyone's got to play that game. It's great.
Everyone's got to have a crack. Good stuff. Well, mate, speaking of swearing, I've been playing Doom Eternal this week as well.
Yeah, that'd be a swear fest, isn't it?
Still plugging away at that. And, I don't think an enemy has actually killed me yet.
You've killed yourself?
I've killed myself numerous times.
Yeah. That's what, a lot of people are saying that.
Falling off things.
Yeah, that's what Greg was talking about last week, wasn't it?
Yeah. And unfortunately, this is the point where it gets me, because Doom Eternal is like it's a game where you need to move. You need to keep movement. You need to keep things flowing, where you need to go from your glory kills to pick up your extra ammo, to then having a long shot, to taking out certain weak points, to using a blood fist to just keep. Yeah, so a blood fist happens when you
I don't want the explanation for that. That sounds disgusting. You can only do one every 28 days.
No, it's pretty much just it's a very big OP melee. So it's just, it builds up. Yeah, anyway, it keeps moving, and then you get to these parts where you got to slow down, and you got to jump and glide and do this and turn and make sure you jump and glide again before this bit drops, so that you can get it at the right level, or you got to let it drop a certain way so you can go and it's just frustrating to a point where there's been probably 3 or 4 times this week where I've just gone, that's it, I'm done, turned it off, mid-level, so I've got to go back and play the damn level again anyway, but just turned it off and gone and done something else.
Do you know how much I've put into that game this week?
Well, according to your list, not much.
Yeah, no, I didn't play it at all.
Well, look, it's still fun, but it's just it's frustrating as hell, mate. I think it's the last game that we can talk about at the moment, Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Now, at the start of the show, you said that Tom Nook has Lucas hooked or something to that effect.
Yes.
And that couldn't be further from the truth, because I still can't really come to terms with what the hell that game is all about, because there is so much love and adoration for Animal Crossing, and not just this one, but like for all of them, that obviously that's the reason why I got the game. I knew very little about it. I researched it. I watched YouTube videos, reviews, and still didn't understand it. Played the game, and I still don't understand it. I don't mind playing it. It's a hell of a grind, though. It's something that I'll play if I'm bored and just sitting on the lounge and the Switch is next to me. I'll chuck it on, shake some bloody trees, pick up some twigs, catch some insects, trade them in, help out old mate Blathers to build his museum with some...
Oh, is there someone in the game called Blathers?
Yeah.
I've been seeing all this... I've been seeing all this stuff on Twitter about shut up Blathers and all this. I'm like, is this the next OK Boomer movement or something? I had no idea.
Okay, I don't know what OK Boomer is. That's new to me. No, it's just a character. Should I know what that is?
Okay. It's a Gen Z saying to people of boom that are the generation of the boomers.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
okay. The baby boomers, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
There's a character named Blathers, but it's so bizarre and it's so slow. Like, I was watching since Spacey's was doing a live stream of it, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to watch him play, because he seems to be among all those kind of games. He knows what he's doing. So I watched him, and he was doing all these things that I'm like, how do you do that? And then he said, oh, wow, you really do need help. But then he realized, oh, no, that's something you learn. Like, because it's simple. You can bring up like a weapon wheel to bring up all your tools. And I'm like, how do you do that? I didn't know you could do that, because I'm bloody pressing left and right on the D-pad, going through all of my stupid tools to get to the one that I want, and it's frustrating. But as it turns out, the wheel that comes up is a thing that you have to learn, so you don't get that straight away. It comes later in the game, which I think is a terrible idea, because I'm getting frustrated with doing that, but you have to play it more to get up to that. That should be there from the beginning. Why should a character learn how to pick the tool he wants? Surely that's a instinctual thing. That's the one I want, I'm going to take that, rather than pick up every single one of them until you get to the one you want. That's just madness. But anyway, it's a hell of a grind. I haven't seen very much, there's not much rewarding just yet. But I think that there's a lot that I'm missing to the game as well, where a lot of people that have played the previous ones will probably go straight to do these things, which will probably progress them quicker, whereas I'm missing them, because the game is all text-based, because they just talk in gibberish. So I probably aren't reading, I'm probably not reading everything as well as I should, and I'm missing a lot of things, so it's probably slowing me down a lot. I don't know, I can't say I don't like it, because I do, but I can see myself putting this down real quick and probably forgetting all about it, which is a shame, because I want to like it, but it's just...
Oh, I am so glad I didn't drop 70 on that.
Oh,
I was tempted.
No, don't.
I was nearly tempted. I was really tempted to go and get it, just because of all the hype. It was one of those things. I got caught up in the hype for it, and
so did I.
The more and more that I've seen of it, and I just sort of go, yeah, it's probably too far out. Like, I reckon if I gave it to my daughter, she wouldn't put it down. But
yeah,
it's probably too far out for me.
That's one thing that there's been a lot of complaints about it lately, about the fact that you can only use one island per Switch. So everyone's saying that they're trying to convince people to buy more than one Switch per household to play this game. Because if my daughter logs into her account and then goes into the game, she can still only play in my game. So essentially there's only one save slot. But it's not per user, it's per console. So if you want to play on the same... if you want to play two different worlds, you have to have two different switches. I'm hoping with all the backlash that they change that. But at the same time, I'm probably not too fussed with it because I've said to my daughter, I said, if you feel like you want to play Animal Crossing, go ahead. You'll help me get through it because it's... I need assistance because it's mind-numbingly boring at the moment. I need to upgrade things quicker. So it's probably not the worst thing for me, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it for you. I wouldn't recommend it for me, knowing what I know now. But I had to know. No,
100%. You got to try it. Yeah, I've just used you as my guide.
Yeah. Allow me to be your guide. Don't
do it. And then we've got Az in the chat. Almost 400 hours in Stardew Valley.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'd probably hazard a guess that that's probably a better game. I've only played Stardew Valley for probably about 10 minutes. But I don't know. I think that's probably a better game. I don't know, but... I
think I've played 27 minutes of Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell possessed me to buy this game?
The hype, mate. The hype train was real.
The
hype train's still going.
I'd have to say it. I think it is the hype, But you know what? I've been pretty lucky with the hype train in the past. And I was just saying this the other day, I think to Nick, the Wraith, where the only reason I played BioShock Infinite, because I'd never played any of the BioShock games when that came out, is because of the hype. Now, BioShock Infinite went absolutely nuts on Reddit, where every second post was about BioShock Infinite. I'm like, screw this, I'm going to play this game. So I picked it up, and it was an absolutely brilliant game. And then I went back and played the original BioShock, and that was great too. So I've been pretty fortunate with the hype train. The hype train also got me onto the Mass Effect series as well, because I saw the Mass Effect on the 360. There was a demo, and I just turned up my nose to it and went, that looks terrible, I'm not playing that. But then when Mass Effect 2 came out, I was listening to a podcast, the Xbox Achievers podcast from the States, and if Rusky Big Muskie's listening, he'll know the show, which is essentially where I virtually met Rusky. And they were talking about it. Zach, the host, was going on and on and on about Mass Effect 2 like it was the world's most amazing game. So I started playing Mass Effect, and it was brilliant, and probably one of the best trilogies up there with sort of Gears of War and that I've played. Yeah, so if I get a dud every now and then, I think I can deal with that.
Take it in your stride.
Yeah.
All right, mate. That's it for games this week. Pretty quick turnaround. So let's jump on over into some news items, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, mate. Over in Europe, Sony is slowing down its speeds. I didn't think they could get much slower.
Well, yeah, that's the interesting point. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen here, but it probably will. But the news article I've got here says that as lockdowns sweep across the globe to try to fight the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of people who are online has increased dramatically. So much that countries are concerned that the internet could break. Look, I don't think gaming is the right area that needs to be focused on. I personally think that video streaming like Netflix, they're the ones that need to be targeted. Because I think that's what there's a majority of what people are going to be on Netflix. And they're streaming 4K. That's
streaming 4K, Netflix, pay TV, all of that sort of stuff. That's what's going to destroy anything. That's what's destroying the bandwidth. Yeah,
because just by rough numbers, if you stream 4K, I think you're looking at about 1 gigabyte an hour. Whereas a typical online game, I think the most was about 100 megabytes an hour if you're on an online game.
But isn't the Sony throttling back their downloads?
Well, it is.
So if you want to download your updates and new games, that's what's going to take longer.
Yes. But that is a very small percentage of what people do on their consoles. People aren't just constantly downloading games. Once it's downloaded, you're done. If they buy a new game, how many games are people going to buy digitally during this outbreak? It's not going to be 100. There might be 2 or 3. So I think that it's absolutely misguided. But it says here, in Europe, Netflix is reducing their streaming quality, blah, blah, blah. They're hoping to lower its traffic by 25%. Now Sony is joining the cause in Europe, announcing today that it is slowing and delaying game download speeds. In a statement on PlayStation blog, Sony Interactive Entertainment President and CEO Jim Ryan said, "We believe it is important to do our part and address internet stability concerns as an unprecedented number of people are practicing social distancing and are becoming more reliant on internet access." And yes, the point that I want to make is, Sony, if you slow it down anymore, you're going to be downloading shit from my console.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
It's God. Oh, it's woeful sometimes. Absolutely woeful.
It is terrible. When I've got kilobytes downloading on my PlayStation, I think, what's wrong with my internet? And I do a speed test on my PC and I'm getting 97 megabits. Are you kidding me? How the hell is my console struggling on a wired connection, the same wired connection? It is ridiculous.
Doesn't make sense, does it?
No. What? It's in Spaceys. Lucas is doing well not to laugh. What am I laughing at? Oh,
if you scroll up in the chat, you'll see what he's talking about.
You know, I was actually looking at that stuff, but it wasn't registering. What is that? Oh, good on you, Wraith. Typical you posting stuff like that. But anyway. That's one thing that they're doing. Yeah, and as far as I'm concerned, you can't get any slower than what I'm experiencing, so go for your life. You know, if you decrease the downloads 25%, I'm still 25% of half a megabyte is not a lot. So that's fine. Fine by me.
Nice, mate. Well, we've got some official, unofficial releases this week for the PS Plus and Games with Gold for April.
Oh, yeah.
So, we were talking about this before we started the show. Today is the 30th?
Yeah, 30th of March. Now, look, this is normal for us to not know anything about the PlayStation games, but not having rock solid information about Xbox Games with Gold, this is late.
Yeah. Yeah, so the details of the PlayStation games is Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and Dirt Rally 2.0. So this went live on PlayStation Europe's YouTube channel and was quickly reverted back to private.
It was made private, that's weird. Yeah,
but not before, thousands of people saw it.
So we don't know if that's accurate or if that's not going to be right.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's a good lineup if it is. Anyone that hasn't played Uncharted 4, you should. It's great. A great title. All the Uncharted are. And, it was only, I think, January where they released the Nathan Drake collection. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Uncharted collection, yeah. So you'll have all 4 games now for that. And Dirt Rally, that's a great rally game if anyone's tried it. The Games with Gold. Now, this is one where it gets a little bit murky. So a couple of days ago, there was some information and it was everywhere with Games of Gold and what they were. But actually looking and trying to update it, and by now I would have got an official release from Xbox. So the details that we've got is Anthem and Unruly Heroes on the Xbox One, and then Lost Planet and The Reckoning on backwards compatibility. So Anthem, look, there's lots of things bouncing around and maybes and nearly there's going on with Anthem. But at the moment, it's still broken. The last time I played it, they still had the Christmas decorations up from December, and it was February. So
December 2017.
So it's still a bit, how you going? But look, there's some big things apparently coming, so it could be a good pickup if it is true. Unruly Heroes I've never heard about. Lost Planet, that's one that might actually get me to use the backwards compatibility. I can remember wanting to play that, just never getting around to it.
Is that the Snow Planet one?
No.
What's the name of it? I
don't think so. Oh, it is. Lost Planet.
Yeah, that's the one where...
Yes, it is the Snow one.
Yeah, I have played them. They're, well, the first one, is it the first one?
I don't know. It's just got Lost Planet.
Just Lost Planet? It's probably...
So it would be...
I don't remember it being very good. I think the later ones,
No.
like 2 and 3, were better. But anyway.
And then The Reckoning. I don't know what The Reckoning is, but there you go.
The Reckoning, actually, that there, I would describe, what's it called? Kingdoms of Amalur: The Reckoning. Is that the one?
Sounds familiar.
Is that the game that... Have you got the picture
I'm
in front
just
of you?
bringing it up.
I think that's what it is. Kingdoms of Amalur: The Reckoning. I would describe that game as Skyrim for beginners. And
Skyrim for beginners.
Yeah, I was starved for games at this period when this game came out on the 360. So I bought that, not knowing what it was, and I actually really enjoyed it. It's actually a really good game. I find it's an RPG, but it's sort of simplified. It's not as in depth. It's not as big. It doesn't take as long to finish. But yeah, Skyrim for beginners. It's a simplistic game of that genre, and I actually thought it was fantastic. Loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds good. So, yeah, keep an eye out for them. By the time this goes live, we should know definite 100% because the PlayStation ones will go live on the 7th if it follows previous, and Games with Gold should be live by Wednesday this week.
Sure.
Good stuff. All right, mate. Modern Warfare 2, a remaster.
Yeah, so we got a little bit of...
Seen little bits about this.
Yeah, well, there's been a little bit of information that's come out through data mining. Now, this is concerning Modern Warfare 2 remasters and some extra stuff for Warzone. Now, I've got my notes here in front of me, but they're quite hefty, so I'm going to try and truncate it down a little bit here. But essentially what's happened is people have data mined some information out of Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which has sort of suggested a remaster of Modern Warfare 2 coming, and it's pretty much been confirmed. However, there was a tweet by this bloke whose tweet handle is @okami13_. I don't know who he is, and I don't care to read through all this jargon here to work out who he is. But he says, to be clear, it won't be a direct remaster of the multiplayer. Instead, they're taking the maps and adding them to Modern Warfare 2019 so as to not split the community again. Just heard this within the last week and I'm letting you guys know now. So, look, I'm assuming that there's going to be a standalone Modern Warfare 2 remaster, which will not have multiplayer included. Instead, they will take maps from Modern Warfare 2, more maps, and put them into Modern Warfare 2019. And that there is no mention of anything about Spec Ops. So I'm hoping if they do a remaster that they include Spec Ops, because that was probably one of the best things about Modern Warfare 2 was the Spec Ops modes. So if they bring those back, if they charge $100 for it, they have a customer in me. And no doubt probably Rep Premier. Because I remember back in the day, Rep Premier and he was only just a young tacker. We used to play that and we would smash through them on Veteran. Yeah, being blatantly honest here, he got me through them. He carried me. So yeah, we're getting more Modern Warfare 2 maps coming, and possibly some extra... Oh, what was the Warzone stuff? Next page. Here we go. There was cool stuff for Warzone. Yeah. All right. So on to Warzone. And the data mine reveals upcoming playlists including duos, quads, high action, loot and kill. The gas closes in faster, so get moving. Shotty snipers, shotguns and snipers only, near, far, wherever, battle royale. There are no loadout drops. One shot, which is Battle Royale with one-shot headshots and no loadout drops, Realism Battle Royale, and Hardcore Battle Royale. That sounds like a lot of different modes. That seems like there's going to be some struggles trying to get a match if there's that many.
Nah, surely it'd be rotational.
Probably, yeah, because that's essentially...
It'd have to be rotational.
Like what they're doing with the normal multiplayer as well. They rotate different modes through there. But yeah, I would imagine probably that duos and quads will probably be a staple, and then they'll probably rotate through those other ones.
I heard up to 5.
There's no mention here of 5.
Squads of 5 and 200 players. So they're going to beef it up from 150 and go up to 200, and they're going to have squads of up to 5.
Oh,
which is pretty much what your multiplayer squads, isn't it?
you might not be able to join in if we have a bigger team, considering PlayStation are going to be dropping your internet speeds.
You dropped out then, missed all that.
I was taking the piss. I won't repeat it.
Yeah, I could imagine you were.
So there's more stuff coming to Call of Duty, which makes me excited because as much as I do crack it, what? Sorry,
I was going to say because my PlayStation's on and I've got it just sitting in the background streaming to the PC. It heard and it jumped in and cancelled it out.
Oh, I thought you might have been joining the podcast via your PlayStation.
Not quite.
No.
I haven't got that set up yet.
Yeah, so cool things to come.
What's the biggest thing you reckon you're looking for?
Let me
rephrase that. Would you prefer to play a hardcore version of Battle Royale without the possibility of respawns?
No
gulag and the hardcore mode, so to speak. Like the multiplayer. You know how the multiplayer's got the hardcore version?
Yeah.
Where there's team killing and it's
no map,
one or two shots.
No HUD.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I think I would probably prefer that because I think that's probably what lets me down a lot is other people using things to their advantage to see me, like on the map or with heartbeat sensors or something like that, UAVs, which is probably what's letting me down. But if UAVs still work in hardcore, damn, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I wouldn't mind playing, a realism type version just to see how it goes. I can guarantee I'd suck at it, but it'd be a bit of fun.
I wouldn't mind a mode where it is just bare bones. No kill streaks, no anything. Literally, you land, you have weapons on the ground, and that's it. So no UAVs, no airstrikes, no chopper gunners, no support. You, your team, your guns. That's it. I would like a mode with that. That would be really good. So literally you need to look. You don't have anything telling you they're over there. So you get rid of that compass up the top as well that pings where the gunshots are coming from. Get rid of that. If you can hear it and you know where it is, then that's how you find somebody, or you use your eyes. That's it. I reckon that would be a good mode, and I would appreciate that a lot more. Anyway, we'll see what they bring.
See what's happening. Alrighty, mate. Last bit of news. Now, I come across this bit of news as well and was absolutely blown away because I thought I was watching a video, not actually something that was made in Dreams. So Dreams has been out for a few weeks now, and the quality just seems to keep ticking along, doesn't it?
Yeah. Look, I didn't know this was possible. This is the first time I've seen something that was photorealistic. I actually asked Rachel, my wife, I said, come in, have a look at this video. Where do you think that's been filmed? And she said, I don't know why. I don't know if she knows, but she says that maybe somewhere in Montana. And in my head, I'm thinking, how the fuck do you know what Montana looks like? But anyway, she believed that it was a video. And I said, well, what if I told you that was created in Dreams, a game on PlayStation for making games? And she was pretty much blown away by it, as I was. The only thing that really gives away that it's not real is the camera movements. They're very smooth, and it looks like they're moving with a controller. And there's some ever so slight. It's not screen tearing, but there's kind of like some artifacts, sort of where it sort of looks like it's a graphical glitch. But other than
kind
that,
of feathers in a little bit.
Yeah. Other than that, the lighting, the depth of field, the textures, the refraction, like the reflections of the water. That is as near to life than I've ever seen. I don't know how that they've pulled that off in Dreams. I'd even be as blazing as to say that it's bullshit, but it hasn't been called out. So I assume it must be legit.
No one's called it out. Like, I haven't seen, someone like Media Molecule who made Dreams come along and share it, so to speak. But yeah, it's still no one's calling bullshit on it. They just seem to be going with it. So,
but whatever it is,
if someone's able to do it.
Yeah, to my understanding, it hasn't been published, so it's not out there for you to go and download. But he can obviously play through it himself on his own console. But his name, the name of the creator is Bad Robo 82, and I'm going to put a link to his video in the show notes, so you can go and check it out if you want to have a look if you haven't seen it yet.
Mate, any other news been popping in your head as we're going along?
No, man, that's all that I had that I thought was mention worthy.
Yes, I couldn't find much more than that. It was really, on the positive side. I didn't want to bring any negative stuff this week. So that's all the news from me. Let's jump into some last words, shall we?
Yes.
All right, mate. Any shout-outs this week?
Shout-outs. Oh, I always forget to sort of think about this beforehand. But, I don't know, I just give a shout-out to probably everybody that's in here at the moment that I've been playing games with the last couple of days. As Radicus, Wraith, no disrespect to the others that are in there, but I've been playing games with these guys the last few days, and it's been really good fun. Although I probably don't get out and about very often when there isn't a pandemic, even just the small things of going to somebody else's house has been missing due to the pandemic as well. So thanks to those guys, I've had people to play with, which is really cool. So shout out to those guys.
People to jump online and chat to. It's a bit different. It's always good. A10's he's always good for a game. If I'm bored, I'll look at the Discord, and sure as shit, there's a message in there saying, "Who's on?" Yes. And at all weird hours of the day as well. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
Well, my shout out as well goes to everyone in the live chat. So we've got Spacies, Az, Kaz, On the Run has joined us as well, Radicus, Skrill, and the Wraith. Thank you for jumping in and listening to us rabble on live. No, I'm not shouting, Spacies. It's too late for that stuff.
Yeah, then I have to edit the redlining out of the podcast. No, not necessarily.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
It's enough when I crack the shits and start shouting. I have to fix that. Oh, dear. That's why usually when I do shout, I actually physically move away from the microphone so I don't have to edit it.
So, yeah, watch out for the red line. We don't want that reverb going on.
That's it.
Oh, Wraith's been warned. Using bad words. I don't know, he's used bad words.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder what he said.
Oh, been done again.
He's probably saying the forbidden word, yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
Careful, you'll get punted.
Ooh, yeah, who would have known?
Oh, see, he's trying to say, yeah. No, he's not saying the forbidden word, but he's saying the part of it, which is a banned word. Because you guys like to try and trick the filter, I've had to put in extra versions of how the word might be written, which is blocking it. But that's stupid. But I've got a little bit extra to tell you in last words.
Go for it, mate.
Purchased myself a 4K capture card today, and the main reason why I've upgraded to a 4K. I don't necessarily want to capture 4K. I don't think that that's absolutely necessary for YouTube videos and such, but it will be nice. But the main reason is I need the pass-through. Because I have my console connected through the capture card, I've got it connected to a 4K monitor, but I can never play any of my games in 4K because it goes through my current capture card, which only has 1080p pass-through. So even though I can get a 4K signal from my consoles and I've got a 4K monitor, the 4K can't pass through my capture card, only 1080 can. So I'm upgrading to the 4K so I can at least play my games in 4K, because I'll be streaming in 1080. But yeah, just so I can play them. It's because I'm missing out on the whole experience here. Yeah. Okay, Spacey's in a new segment called First World Problems. You're not wrong. It is a first world problem, but it's something that I'm fixing. I never once complained about it. I'm only mentioning it now because it's just it's something that I'm fixing. Awesome. But yeah. So
now, did you go out and buy it?
No. I've ordered it online.
Cool.
Yeah, so that it's coming in the post. No, I can't justify going into the shops just to buy that. It's not necessary. And I would imagine that most people that are in the chat that are here with us now would probably be just as reasonable. But there are a lot of people out there that don't think of things like that. They think, well, I need a new whatever that's not necessary. You need food. You need toilet paper. You don't need that latest iPhone. You don't need to go browse for a new T-shirt. These sort of things shouldn't be done. So no, I sure as hell did not go into the shops and buy it.
I bought it online.
Yeah, good stuff. Just remember to spray it when you get it.
Yeah, I'll take some rubber gloves and open it up and spray the box.
Open it up with some disinfectant wipes.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, some last words from me. Don't forget to visit Aussie Gamers TV and Snooker Vision over on Twitch, and to check out Mr. Grejio. He's got things back on the go on Instagram at Grejio XBL. So make sure you jump on over. I think that's it, mate. Do you want to close up the show?
I think we are done. Want me to close up the show? What do you mean?
No. Shall we close up the show?
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking me to
close
do
it if you want. Do you want to close it?
I haven't done it in like 18 months. I can't remember what to do. Thanks everyone for listening to the show. Bye.
Thank you very much to everyone that has listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. Don't forget to continue any of the topics we've discussed on this show over in our Discord channel. And while you're at it, hit up our website, www.theagexp.com. Links, as always, are in the podcast show notes and descriptions. That's all from me. As always, I've been Snoogs.
And I've been Lucas.
See us.
Bye-bye, dudes.
Well, that's the end of another show, and if you're still listening to this part of the show, then know this: we love you. Come and join our exclusive Agents of Age group on Discord using the link in the description. Just join the server and say hi, quoting "May the Age be with you," and you will be added as an Agent of Age. Subscribe to this podcast using the links that are in the description for your convenience. Thanks again, we love you lots. See you next time on the official podcast of the Aussie Gamers Experience.